Today, we're diving into a film that is as heartwarming as it is eccentric. We're talking about Rental Family, the latest gem from Searchlight Pictures that just landed on streaming. Directed by visionary filmmaker Hakiri, who you might know from her incredible work on Beef and Tokyo Vice. This movie takes us into the very real, very fascinating world of Japanese rental agencies. But instead of renting a car or a tuxedo, people are renting people. It stars Brendan Fraser in a role that feels like it was written just for him. He plays Philip, a has-been American actor living adrift in Tokyo, who finds a new lease on life when he starts working for a rental agency. One day he's doting a father, the next he's a grieving husband, and the next he's a professional apology maker. So, what I like most about the movie is I finally got to see Brendan Fraser, and I don't think I've seen him in anything for a while. So I liked that it seemed to have authentic Japanese culture, and it was just really a unique movie to watch because I've never seen a concept or an idea for a business such as the one that they portray in the movie. It was pretty emotional and had a good message. The message that I got from it was that maybe at some point in your life you might come across a situation that teaches you that although you're good at something or something comes along that makes sense, that doesn't mean that you have to stick with that thing, your whole entire life. What I got was that some things might only be a phase. The best scene in the movie. So to me, one of the best scenes in the movie was when he shows up as a token white guy to a funeral and he arrives late, makes a bunch of noise sitting down, and when they've already started the ceremony. So it's kind of funny how he got hired to be the token white guy, I guess since there was no other white guys present at the funeral. That was pretty funny, and that was my favorite scene. So I think some of the strengths of this movie were that it had a really good story and a creative concept. I'm not sure if rental families are a normal thing in Japan, but I've never heard of one here in America. It did a great job of telling the story of this rental family business, and it had a whole bunch of Japanese culture and settings that made it feel real authentic. It had some parts that were kind of funny, but for the most part, I think it was a more serious tone and kind of a serious message to the movie that gave it a sense of depth. The weaknesses. So the weaknesses for me were that it seemed to have some comedy throughout, but I don't think it had enough comedy to be able to finish the movie and still feel as if it was a light watch. There were tons of contrast with things happening, like when he had to tell his, quote, fake daughter that he wasn't her real dad, or when he had to face the death of that one Japanese actor. It got heavy in some parts, and I don't think the comedic relief that they had in the movie was enough to balance out the darker parts. So to me, it was slightly on the darker note, but that's just me. The main score, I think this was a really great movie that was really unique and authentic. It's a great watch for someone who loves a good story and doesn't want to just watch another action or corny comedy flick. This is definitely one of those movies that leaves you feeling some kind of emotional way, and I definitely recommend you see it. It's out on streaming and you can find it on Disney+. It's called Rental Family, so it's a definite watch. It's not your typical, your action movie or a superhero movie. This one's all about story, emotion, and depth, so I'm not going to give it a number rating or a letter rating. This is just for when you're ready to go a little bit deeper than your normal, everyday fun watch. Anyway, this is Emmanuel, the Grab Some Popcorn podcast, over and out.